time, man.
You always running. What you running from?
You missed the spot.
You legally my dude.
You missed the spot right there. I'm not your dude.
Pay for the divorce. Come back.
I'm leaving.
Come back.
Stop assaulting me.
Get out. Where the money at?
I got the $40.
115-1303-43. 357 fans are shocked by the claims that are going viral on the internet. Is it true that Joy has officially moved on from Trick Daddy and is now preparing to get married to someone else? The love and hip-hop Miami community is completely shocked by rumors of a clandestine engagement, according to multiple online publications and social media sources. What is even more potent? According to people close to Trick Daddy, he is enraged and demanding what he refers to as his rights, which has rekindled long-standing hostilities and reopened wounds that everyone believed had healed. What began as low-key rumors has now become one of the most discussed tales in reality TV circles. Fans are split. Some believe Joy should...
I'm gonna just do something for you. I got something for you. Here you go. This is for you. This is to help you out. Call your lawyer and say you're getting a divorce. No, you have to take it. You have to take it.
Joy should start again after years of emotional upheaval, while others maintain it's premature, particularly since their divorce is still widely known. And Trick? According to insiders, he feels caught off guard and accuses Joy of replacing history with headlines. The twist is that nobody can tell what is real and what is merely noise on the internet. One thing is certain as contradictory stories mount. Joy's purported new romance may be considerably more difficult than anybody anticipated. Emotions are running high and allegiances are changing. The whispers began softly, almost like a whisper in the Miami nightlife scene. But in a matter of days, they erupted on social media, making the names of Joy and Trick Daddy popular once more. People who had been following their journey for years were astounded by what they were witnessing. Allegations that Joy, who had finally gotten a divorce, was prepared to go down the aisle once more, this time with a new partner. Fans were quickly persuaded by insiders' claims that Joy had been seen wearing what appeared to be an engagement ring, even though Joy had not made any public announcements. This revelation was devastating to those who had followed the highs and lows of her marriage with Trick. After all, their relationship had been one of intense emotional connection, love and chaos, the kind that lingers long after it ends. The relationship between Joy and Trick had endured a great deal, including years of heartbreak, disagreements, laughter, and fleeting moments of hope that kept followers hoping for a reunion. However, that door appeared to have permanently closed now that Joy was purportedly prepared to wed someone else. Trick Daddy didn't take the news lightly, according to people close to the issue. One insider claims that he was taken aback when he learned of Joy's new relationship from common friends rather than from her. According to the same source, Trick recently said to pals, "It's not about jealousy, it's about respect. I gave her everything, and now she's acting as though it didn't matter." These remarks swiftly went viral on social media, igniting discussions about whether Trick was still emotionally invested or merely responding out of pride. Fans started analyzing each move made by both sides. Joy, who was always composed and serene, has been sharing inspirational sayings and glimpses of her new life, including pictures of peaceful dinners, beach sunsets, and words about healing and tranquility. Each post seemed to convey a deeper meaning, even if she never mentioned names. "Letting go isn't giving up, it's choosing freedom" was one of her most popular captions, and the internet was ablaze with interpretations. Some perceived it as evidence that she was at last at peace with her past, while others took it as a sly jab at her former. Trick, on the other hand, presented a completely different picture on social media. Fans noted his tone become more contemplative and emotional as he began streaming live more frequently, discussing relationships, loyalty, and how people change when the cameras turn off. "You can build a person up. You can love them through their storms. But when it's time for them to shine, they forget who held the umbrella," he said one evening. No one required him to name anyone, though. The internet has already decided that he was discussing happiness. Friends of both maintained that the story was anything but straightforward behind the scenes. Before the paperwork was completed, Joy's relationship with Trick had ended emotionally, according to a close source. According to the acquaintance, she remained faithful for years, even when she wasn't happy. Another insider from Trick's circle retorted, saying he was never given a fair opportunity to make things right. "Now she's choosing herself, and people can't handle that." The source whispered, "He always thought they'd work it out eventually." It broke him to hear that she might marry someone else. The purported identity of Joy's new man became the next big mystery as the rumors circulated. He was described by entertainment bloggers as a low-profile entrepreneur from Atlanta who was totally unrelated to the entertainment industry. According to sources, Joy valued his stable demeanor and grounded nature. One blogger said, "He's not about fame or drama. He's the calm after years of chaos." Yet fans insisted on answers with each new post. Was Joy truly moving on, or was this simply conjecture? When rumors began to circulate that Trick had begun reviewing the specifics of his divorce settlement, things took a more dramatic turn. Online sources claim that he believed that if Joy was starting a new life, then some assets that were still up for debate should be decided in his favor. Social media law experts offered their opinions, examining their public record and potential assertions. It became more about legacy, who built what, who deserved what, and who was attempting to change history. Then it was about love. Joy remained silent throughout. No statements, no interviews, just a constant barrage of composed, enigmatic posts. Speaking anonymously, one of her pals claimed that she was attempting to keep her peace. Joy is not in favor of a public conflict. She has moved past that. She wants happiness, not headlines, but the noise persisted despite the calm. Every image, song lyrics, and public appearance she posted served as fuel for more conjecture on the internet. Then followed an unexpected turn of events. Fans started sharing an old film from a Love and E! Hip Hop Miami episode in which Joy sobbingly acknowledged that she still cared for Trick, despite their inability to be together. In the video, she stated, "We've been through too much to hate each other. I'll always wish him well." That statement rekindled a range of conflicting feelings. Fans who had previously applauded her independence now questioned if she was genuinely prepared to move on or if the past continued to haunt her. Conversely, Trick began to exhibit indications of reflection as well. According to people who knew him well, he had been talking more about his errors and acknowledging that his pride had prevented him from making amends. According to one insider, he's not angry all the time. You never realize how much someone meant to you until you see them smiling in someone else's arms, Trick said to followers in a rare and open live stream. The comment section was flooded with emotional remarks and tearful emojis. Sometimes he just sounds sad. Even still, Joy's circle insisted that she wasn't making decisions out of spite, despite all the heartache and sorrow. For the first time, she was prioritizing her own happiness. Her new relationship, according to those who knew her well, gave her a sense of calm that she hadn't experienced in years. According to reports, she was spending more time away from Miami, concentrating on taking care of herself and making plans for the future, whatever it could entail. But her past would not let go, despite her best efforts to go forward. When she was seen leaving a restaurant one evening, the photographers asked her direct questions such as, "Joy, are you actually getting married? How does Trick feel about this?" She remained silent. She just waved, grinned courteously, and got into her car. However, her brief quiet was more powerful than any words she could have said. The headlines were even louder in an instant. Trick demands justice. Joy moves on. Trick Daddy is taken aback by Joy's engagement rumors. Fans are divided as love and hip-hop couple face new drama. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, and neither of them seemed to be in control of it anymore. As Joy concentrated on her fresh starts and Trick struggled with old feelings, the world observed, scrutinized, and condemned every action, demonstrating once more that in the realm of reality television, no conclusion ever remains silent. Even though neither of them had publicly called the other out by name, the tension between Joy and Trick only appeared to increase as the days stretched into weeks. Every influencer, blogger, and fan page started breaking down their story piece by piece as the murmurs on the internet grew louder. Everyone had a theory. Some claimed Joy was at last free and enjoying her best life, while others claimed she was being aloof and moving on too quickly after years of shared history. However, as usual, the reality was far more nuanced than what fans could perceive. Joy's close friend claims that she had no intention of making her new romance public. The buddy clarified, she wanted to keep things private. But once pictures started circulating, there was no going back. Soon after, bloggers started posting headlines about Joy being seen hand-in-hand with her reported fiancé at a low-key event in Atlanta. People recognized him, connected the dots, and it just exploded. Contrarily, Trick did not accept the news gently. According to insiders, he called a few close friends and family members to vent his annoyance that Joy would show off her new relationship without telling him. He felt like he deserved at least a conversation, according to one of his former pals. Fans expressed sympathy, remembering how their relationship had once been full of loyalty and underlying concern. After everything they've been through, he thought she'd tell him first. Many recalled the times when Joy supported him through his worst hours, including his legal issues, health issues, and public scandals. Her publicly moving on seemed to them like the last chapter in a tale that had been indestructible. However, some contended that Trick also made some blunders. Videos from earlier interviews surfaced, in which Joy sobbingly acknowledged that their marriage had been challenging and that she had loved him but was unable to remain in a relationship that didn't bring her comfort. Her statement, "Sometimes love isn't enough," struck a deeper chord than before. With messages like, "This is what healing looks like," people started sharing the video once more, along with pictures of her grinning with her new partner. Trick's pride, however, would not allow the matter to go unnoticed. He recently discussed respect and unfinished business in a live session, which many interpreted as subtle references to happiness. "You don't just walk away like it never happened when you build a life with someone," he stated in an emotional tone. "Some things you can't erase, no matter how many new rings you wear." Supporters showered the comments with heart-shaped emojis and encouraging words. But some accused him of trying to guilt-trip his ex rather than allowing her to be happy. Joy, meanwhile, ignored the commotion and carried on with her serene, graceful life. She was spotted spending time with close friends, going to charitable events, and posting updates about her new adventure on social media. Her posts frequently conveyed a sense of renewal, even though she didn't confirm the engagement. Titles like "Peace is the real glow-up" and "New beginnings require closed doors" expressed her narrative without the need for names. Fans who had followed her since her early days in love and hip-hop were impressed by her transformation from an emotional lady trapped in a difficult marriage to someone who appeared to be at peace with herself at last. However, such tranquility was difficult to achieve. Behind the grins, Joy had battled confusion and remorse for months, according to those close to her. One insider admitted, she still cares for Trick. She will always want him to be okay, but not romantically. Joy had even contacted him once to see how he was doing, but the chat didn't go as intended, according to the same source. That kind of history doesn't disappear overnight. The friend stated, he was hurt, and the call didn't end well. She stopped trying after that. She came to the conclusion that the only way she could fully recover was to move on. Naturally, fans were unaware of that private call, but they could sense the emotional undertones in everything that came after. Joy and Trick both appeared to be indirectly expressing their emotions. She did so through serene posts about growth and serenity, while he did so with poignant late-night lives in which his suffering occasionally came through in his words. He stated, "Some people think moving on means winning, but sometimes it just means you couldn't fight anymore," in a heartfelt moment that resonated with thousands of individuals who had experienced similar loss. According to recent accounts, the technique involved reevaluating some of the financial agreements from the divorce, as if the matter wasn't already confusing enough. Rumor had it that he was discussing fairness with his attorneys, particularly because he claimed to have made significant investments in their joint house and way of life. He allegedly said to a close colleague, "If she's building her future, I just want what's mine." Fans debated whether the phrase was about money or emotions after it swiftly went viral. Some claimed it was a power move, while others said it was just a man attempting to take back control after losing a loved one. Joy's reported fiancé stayed silent throughout all the rumors, hardly making public appearances or responding to the rumors. He was reserved, grounded, and protective of Joy, according to those who knew him. One acquaintance clarified, "He's not trying to be in the spotlight. Her fame is not what matters to him." Fans became even more engrossed in the story because of the sharp contrast between her serene new relationship and the emotional storm with her ex. He wants to keep things mature, away from the chaos. When fans started sharing side-by-side comparisons of Joy's behavior from her marriage to the present, the situation escalated. Recent appearances revealed a beautiful, composed version of her, whereas earlier clips showed her upset or emotional. Before long, Joy became an inadvertent symbol of self-liberation as captions like, "Healing hits different when you stop settling," became popular. However, not everyone was having fun. Trick's devoted followers believed he was being publicly denigrated and portrayed as the antagonist in a narrative in which he had also been a victim of circumstance. There was even a contentious discussion about it on one especially popular podcast. The host debated whether Joy's decision to get married so soon after the divorce demonstrated insensitivity toward Trick's sentiments, or if she had every right to move on. One host argued, "You can't heal by hurting someone who once loved you," while another responded, "You can't stay trapped because someone else refuses to let go." Videos from that exchange received millions of views, demonstrating how deeply people still cared about their narrative. Joy and Trick continued to live their beliefs in their own ways in spite of all the opinions. However, no one was unaware of the irony that their names kept coming up in the same sentence even after they were divorced. Even moving on seemed to come with invisible ties because love, suffering, loyalty, and contempt had bound them together for so long. Fans continued to wait for one of them to speak up, either through an interview, a statement, or a confrontation. But for the time being, all they had were clues, feelings, and an unwavering narrative. When fresh video appeared online of Trick Daddy outside a Miami studio, clearly distressed and surrounded by cameras, things took a more dramatic turn. Joy initially disregarded the queries posed by reporters on his alleged engagement, but one of them inquired as to whether he intended to challenge any aspects of the divorce settlement. "I'm not here to beg for nothing that ain't mine," he remarked in a calm, low voice as he halted and faced the cameras. That one sentence went viral right away. "I just want what's fair." Hundreds of discussions over whether Trick was battling for money, pride, or closure resulted from the video's playback on entertainment news websites, podcasts, and fan pages on social media. Many people who knew the couple directly claimed that Trick's feelings had nothing to do with money. A mutual buddy who used to work closely with both of them stated, "It's about his ego." He had a great affection for Joy, but he never thought she would truly move on. Those close to Trick claimed that although he had publicly acknowledged their split, he secretly believed the door would remain open. He always believed that she would remain in his corner no matter what. Joy, on the other hand, was being silent during the pandemonium, allowing the noise to subside without adding to it. However, others close to her disclosed that she was offended by Trick's abrupt public outbursts. For pleasure, the concept of moving on wasn't about making a statement or getting even. Rather, it was about regaining her happiness after years of feeling emotionally spent. She allegedly told a friend, "I never wanted to embarrass him. I just wanted peace." On the other hand, fans were divided. Some thought the timing was disrespectful, while others defended her right to start over. Her posts became a battleground for opinions on social media, with some calling her the blueprint for healing, and others showering her with compassion and encouragement. Joy never answered. With comments like, "Not every silence is weakness," and "Peace doesn't require permission," she shared pictures of sunsets, beaches, and peaceful dinners. Nevertheless, gossip persisted. According to one blog, Trick filed documents contesting a portion of the divorce settlement and requesting his portion of the property connected to their former home. According to a different source, he felt emotionally misled, implying that he thought Joy had begun seeing her new partner before their breakup was officially confirmed, even though there was never any proof of it. Joy's crew swiftly put an end to the conversation by stating, "There's no truth to that." After the marriage ended, she simply went on. However, truth frequently loses out to perception in the realm of reality television and public conjecture. People started coming to their own conclusions, assembling rumors, subtitles, and footage to create their own narrative. You can see it in Joy's eyes during the last reunion. She was already emotionally gone, a fan wrote in a widely shared thread. Trick simply failed to notice. That post alone received hundreds of reactions and thousands of likes, rekindling the passionate discussion. Joy's alleged fiancé remained in the background, declining interviews and staying away from public appearances while the online clamor grew. However, the rumors continued. Everyone was curious about his true identity. Fans discovered that he was a humble businessman with no connections to the entertainment industry, who had found happiness through mutual friends following her breakup with Trick, by unearthing old pictures and business information. According to insiders, he respected her tenacity and had no desire to deal with the turmoil of her background. According to one insider, he's protective of her. He's not about the limelight, and that's exactly what she needed, someone mature, composed, and grounded. The men's differences could not have been more obvious. Joy's lively spirit had originally been matched by Trick's fiery, outspoken attitude, but over time, that energy became unstable. Laughter was replaced by arguments, and connection was replaced by distance. Joy appeared softer and more tranquil with her new companion, Fans could sense this shift even in her online posts. One enthusiast said, "Look at the glow. When you stop fighting for someone who won't meet you halfway, that's what happiness looks like." However, Trick was becoming agitated as Joy was gently starting her new chapter. A few weeks later, he expressed his emotions once more, this time with greater intensity, during a late-night live webcast. "People don't talk about being left behind, but they always talk about moving on," he added, his voice quivering a little. His supporters flooded the comments with encouraging words, but it was impossible to hide the anguish in his remarks. "They don't talk about waking up and realizing someone you love is planning a life without you." Fans who had witnessed his highs and lows over the years felt sincere empathy, understanding that beneath his gruff facade was a guy still finding it difficult to let go. Another turn of events occurred in the days that followed. Joy apparently received an unexpected legal notification about property concerns from Trick's legal team, according to several entertainment outlets. Even though there was no official confirmation, the report was enough to trigger another social media breakdown. Fans conjectured endlessly about the demands of the rights Trick. Was it cash property? Paperwork masquerading as emotional closure? Everyone had an opinion, but nobody knew for sure. Joy, in keeping with her personality, declined to take offense in public. Rather, she wrote a mysterious remark on her story. "Some battles are fought in silence." Within minutes, blogs saw it and took it as a subliminal rebuttal to the rumors. Supporters swarmed around her, applauding her self-control and maturity. One admirer tweeted, "She's not playing the media game. She's winning because of that." However, several insiders claimed that Trick's actions were motivated by regaining power rather than resentment. One close friend remarked, "He feels like everything's slipping away. His pride, his image, his relationship with her, everything." When a man reacts when he feels cornered like that. Those statements encapsulated the whole circumstance. Trick was unable to comprehend the implications of Joy's happiness for his own identity. Thus, he wasn't necessarily upset about it. Producers from Love and Hip Hop reportedly contacted both of them as the drama intensified in an effort to depict the developing tension in the upcoming season. Fans conjectured that the show may use the plot to examine their post-divorce dynamics, even though neither of them confirmed their involvement. One admirer said, "They built this franchise on real emotion." And there is heartbreak, healing, and unresolved business in this situation. Joy's fans, meanwhile, thought she would never return to the show. One reviewer said, "She's past that." They were correct when they said, "She's in a different space now, spiritually and emotionally." Joy declined several requests to reappear on camera, according to people close to her, choosing to concentrate on her current relationship and future goals. A buddy clarified she wants peace, not a plot. However, a fresh rumor surfaced just as it appeared like Joy and her fiancé were getting ready for a tiny, private wedding that would take place away from the cameras. Despite the couple's silence, the news shocked social media once more. Fans had a wide range of feelings on the internet, with some applauding her delight, some being devastated by the trick, and many just wondering whether this would truly be the end of an era between the two. Throughout it all, one thing became evident. Pleasure and Trick's names will always be linked in the public's mind, regardless of how far away they were. Theirs was a tale of celebrity, pride, forgiveness, and the difficult process of letting go when the world won't let go. It wasn't just a love story. The tension between Joy and Trick appeared to reach an almost intolerable climax as the reports persisted. There was a flurry of conjecture, arguments, and passionate responses on social media. Fans who had grown up witnessing their highs and lows on Love and Hip Hop Miami were unable to stop analyzing every image, caption, and nuanced gesture they came across on the internet. Massive debate threads were triggered by even small appearances by either of them. While some fans believed that Joy was at last embracing freedom and happiness, others complained that Trick was unfairly depicted as the story's antagonist. Behind the scenes, insiders disclosed that Joy and Trick were handling their feelings in secret, each managing the fallout from divorce in a separate way. Joy was allegedly spending a lot of time with her new partner and making plans for a future that just a few months ago had seemed unthinkable. She concentrated on developing herself, going to workshops, making investments in her business endeavors, and creating a peaceful existence away from the bustle of Miami's reality TV scene. One buddy said, "She's finally prioritizing herself. She's living on her terms for the first time in years. She's not responding to someone else's drama." But the Trick wasn't as calm. Although he continued to project a charming and self-assured public image, those who knew him well saw a shift. He would frequently withdraw to isolated areas, joyfully thinking back on his past and reliving the emotional roller coaster of their 10-year romance. According to friends, he would relive past experiences, both the heartache and the laughter, and wonder whether there was anything he might have done differently. According to one insider, he's not angry at her. He's processing the loss of what he thought would always be there, and he's confused and hurt. Naturally, the internet flourished on every emotional ripple. Videos of Trick's live feeds, in which he made hazy remarks about love, grief, and moving on, were constantly shared. Fans analyzed and discussed captions like, "You can't unlove someone overnight," and "Sometimes letting go feels impossible." In the meantime, Joy's peaceful and serene posts, which frequently included picturesque scenery, inspirational sayings, and quiet periods with her new partner, were shared thousands of times with captions emphasizing development, empowerment, and healing. A story of emotional juxtaposition, the ex-husband grappling with a previous love and the newly strong lady going forward, was created by the contrast between the two, which sparked conjecture. News sites started reporting that Trick had retained legal counsel to review certain terms of the divorce settlement, just when it appeared that the tension would subside. According to speculations, he wanted to protect assets and make agreements about money, real estate, and other joint ventures clear. Fans took every action as an indication that Trick was trying to take charge of the situation, even though no formal pronouncements were made. Some contended that his motivation was solely financial, while others maintained that it was an emotional reaction, a guy seeking approval because he felt abandoned. Additionally, Joy's alleged fiancé, who stayed much in the background, became the focus of attention. Although there were few specifics, entertainment insiders characterized him as a private, grounded person with no connection to reality TV. According to one source, he's the calm after years of storm. His restrained demeanor just heightened intrigue and conjecture. He's not chasing fame, and that's exactly what Joy needed. He kept a quiet profile, allowing only Joy to navigate the public light. Despite admirers' best efforts to learn more about him through social media profiles, shared connections, and previous performances, two extremely different coping strategies were depicted by the contrast between Joy's calm life and Trick's more obvious emotional reactions. Trick appeared to process through visibility, using public forums to express emotions he couldn't confide in privately, whereas Joy sought stability and serenity. "She's building her world and he's narrating his," a fan tweeted. Same story, different chapters summed up how their post-divorce relationship was perceived more broadly, as a separation of emotional trajectories as well as personalities. Then something happened that sparked even more conjecture. Photographs taken by paparazzi showed Trick at an event that Joy and her new partner also attended. The media immediately conjectured about tension and possible conflict, even though they did not engage. Online descriptions such as "the past meets the present" and "exes in the same room" went viral, igniting a fresh discussion about whether or not they could ever reconcile, or whether the encounter demonstrated how irreversible their split was. Joy's close group were committed to keeping her safe despite the mayhem. Sources stressed that she wanted to keep her new relationship private and didn't want to be involved in a public feud. A buddy remarked, "She's done with needless drama. She's not here for anyone else's narrative. She's living her own." Her posts, which frequently featured captions emphasizing growth, clarity, and personal happiness, continued to demonstrate calm introspection and thoughtful glances into her future intentions. On Trick's end, the circumstance appeared to encourage introspection. Friends said he alternated between periods of seeming annoyance and periods of acceptance. He would occasionally complain in private about the difficulties of witnessing someone you once loved start a life apart from you. At other times, he reportedly started composing and playing music that conveyed the complexity of love, grief, and moving on, a creative outlet that helped him deal with feelings too strong to articulate in everyday talks. Fans observed this change, pointing out that his music had become more reflective and poignant, mirroring his inner conflicts. Social commentary became inevitable as media coverage grew. Numerous evaluations of Joy's choice to proceed and deceive the public were provided via podcasts, fan pages, and YouTube channels. Joy's actions, according to others, were empowering and an example of regaining independence after years of compromise. Others presented the scenario as a warning, emphasizing the emotional repercussions for both sides and wondering if the public's attention exacerbated their personal difficulties. The news dominated discussions in entertainment circles regardless of how it was interpreted, indicating the ongoing obsession with their dynamic. Then, there was a small but important development. There were suspicions that Trick had started having casual conversations with Joy's new fiancé, perhaps to set limits or make sure her impending marriage wouldn't cause any legal issues. Fans were crazy about the idea alone, even though there were few details. Online arguments raged over whether Trick was acting rationally or if he was interfering in someone else's life. The story of tension, resolution, and unsolved emotional stakes was amplified by each comment, tweet, and conversation. As the weeks went by, Joy kept her attention on her personal life, her business endeavors, and her quiet plans for a solid and satisfying future. She posted reflective moments on social media, frequently with messages about self-love, resiliency, and serenity. Fans warmly replied, complimenting her maturity, poise, and dedication to personal development. One comment said, "She's finally prioritizing herself," which many who had followed her path from her love and hip-hop days agreed with. Trick, meantime, forged his own route by striking a balance between his personal feelings and the public's curiosity. Friends speculated that he was learning to deal with the circumstance without letting it take over his life. According to one insider, he's realizing that moving on doesn't mean forgetting. This developing knowledge, while uncertain, implied that personal development and healing were possible even in the face of public scrutiny. It means accepting what was and finding a way to keep living meaningfully. However, the public's perception of the tale of Joy and Trick remained unresolved. Every conversation, post, and rumor turned into a new chapter in a continuous story. Fans conjectured endlessly about the future, including whether Trick would entirely accept Joy's new life, whether Joy's rumored wedding would take place as scheduled, and whether their complicated emotional bonds would ever truly sever. The drama captivated viewers who had been engrossed in every step of their journey as it transformed from a tale of marriage and divorce into a saga about identity, self-empowerment, and navigating life after love. And there you have it. Fans have never been more enthralled with the fast-paced tale of Joy going on with a new love as Trick Daddy manages his emotions and defends his rights. The narrative has been a roller coaster of emotion, heartache, and personal development, ranging from modest thoughts on social media to speculations of engagement rings. However, one concern remains. Will this chapter provide closure at last, or will there be more surprises to come? On social media, followers have been voicing their thoughts about who is correct, who has actually moved on, and what the future may bring for both Pleasure and Trick. While some applaud Joy's newfound freedom and contentment, others feel sympathy for Trick's difficulty embracing change. With every post, remark, and headline, the argument has intensified, and emotions have been running hot. It's your time to participate in the discussion now. Do you believe Joy is finally putting an end to her relationship with Trick Daddy, or is there still unresolved tension that might resurface later? We would want to hear your opinions on this dramatic love and hip-hop story, so please share them in the comments section below. If you liked the analysis, please hit the notification bell, subscribe for more exclusive updates, and like this video so you don't miss any new developments. The drama is far from ended, and everyone might be shocked by the next phase.